Hi guys. So when thinking about my exercise pattern, one thing that I find it easy to do is to record all of the information that we have into an organized pattern or a chart. And I'm going to use a T chart today. So notice on one side of my T chart, I have the day number listed. So when I say that, I'm saying like day one, day two, day three, day four. In the second side of my chart, it says the number of push-ups. So for instance, on day one, I did 2 push-ups. On day two, I did 6 push-ups. On day three, I did 10 push-ups. And on day four, I did 14 push-ups. So this gives me some information, and from this point, we can start to look for a pattern. Now, hopefully you see a couple different patterns here that we can use. One pattern that I notice right off the bat is that if we look at the number of push-ups here, you'll notice that each time this number increases by 4. So every time a new day went by, I increased by 4 push-ups. So if we were to use that same model, I asked you about day 5, I could just add 14 plus 4, which would give me 18 push-ups, which would tell me that on day 5, I would have done 18 push-ups. Now, you may find other patterns here as well. I don't know. One pattern that you also may recognize at some point is that if we actually look across this chart from day to number of push-ups, notice here if we add 1 plus 1, we get 2. Here, if we add 2 plus 4, we get 6. Here, if we add 3 plus 7, we get 10. If we add 4 plus 10, we get 14. You'll notice from 1, 4, 7 to 10, notice that number is going up by the same number each time too. Each of these are going up by 3. From 1 to 4 is 3, from 4 to 7 is 3, from 7 to 10 is 3. So there's multiple different patterns that you may see here. Now, the second question I asked you after day 5 was to figure out day 10. Now, there's a couple of ways that we could go about doing this. We could, for one, continue our chart here. So we knew that day 5 was 18, so we could say day 6 is going to be 22, day 7, 26, day 8, 30, day 9, 34. So then day 10, put it over here, day 10 would be 38. So day 10 would have, sorry about that, day 10 would have exactly 38 push-ups. Now, the question is, when we get to a number like 100, how are we going to figure that out? Because I could just keep going and adding 4 every single time, but that seems like a lot of work. Now, a way that I can speed that up a little bit is I can look for what is something that is happening every single time. Well, I'm going to focus on that 4 because notice we're adding 4 over and over. So let's take a look at this row here, day 5. So on day 5, notice I did 18 push-ups. What I'm going to think about is how many times had I added 4 from my original day, day 1, to get 18. Well, notice I had added 4 different times. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I had added 4 different times. So in other words, let's go back to this picture here. We could say 4 times 4 equals 16. But remember, then we had to add that 2 from the original day. Plus 2 is 18. Interesting. So if we knew how many times we were going to have to add 4, that might help me to get to that number. Now, notice when we're at day 100. So let's look at day 100. For day 100, the question is, can I use that same trick? Well, I know in order to get from day 1 to day 100, that is going to be 99 times that I am going to have to multiply by 4 because each time we go up a day, we're adding 4. So from day 1 to day 100, that's going to be 99 times that I'm going to have to add 4. Now, when I do 4 times 99, a quick way to do that, if you know 4 times 100 is 400, then 4 times 99 is 4 less than that. So that's going to give me 396. But then we can add that 2 from the first day, because remember I did 2 push-ups on the first day. So I can tell you that on day 100, I would do 398 push-ups. Definitely not going to happen. So one thing we can do is we can try to generalize this pattern so that we can see how could we now figure out any day? How could I figure out any day? And if I gave you now something like day 1,000, you should be able to tell me by using this pattern, how many push-ups would I do on day 1,000? Now, eventually, our goal here is to come up with some sort of pattern with a variable in it. They can tell me any day where the variable represents the day number. One pattern that I see, you may have saw as well, is if you take 4 and multiply by the day number and then subtract 2, you will always get the number of push-ups. So 4 times x minus 2, let's see if it works. So day 1, if you did 4 times 1 is 4, minus 2 is 2. Day 2, 4 times 2 is 8, minus 2 is 6. Day 3, 4 times 3 is 12, minus 2 is 10. Day 4, 4 times 4 is 16, minus 2 is 14. Notice that works every single time. So we could use that pattern, that to generalize this pattern. So think about that as we go into our activity that I'm going to give you, where you're going to be trying to do something very similar on your own.